So happy, guys, to be starting the SurrealStevePodcast. Today, I am joined by two of my good friends, Chantel and Wo. Before we get into our topic for today, why don't we just first introduce you guys, just tell us a little bit about yourself and ambitions out here in LA, trying to make it big, so let's hear a little bit about you.
Well, thank you for having us, Steve.
Of course.
Very much appreciated. My name is Wo. My full name is Wo Jarvis. I'm from New York City, honestly. So,
Hey.
Woo, woo. I'm a senior at Ithaca College studying television and radio, and I just have a goal just to have my own talk show and just be a breath of fresh air and inspiration to those who need it.
I feel that.
My girl.
Hey.
I'm Chantel. I'm also from New York City, from the Bronx. I'm a senior at college. Sports media major. And I don't know, I'm just trying to see where life takes me, trying to be successful, secure the bag.
Secure the bag.
Yeah. And just make it in the sports world.
Do you know you want to do in sports or?
Yeah, so I want to go into the PR world, public relations.
Okay.
I want to be a publicist.
So managing talent or kind of just making sure they don't
but
fuck up and ruin their
athletes,
life.
Sports, trying to be
And Wo, I know you want your own show, right?
Yeah, I want my own show, something like Oprah, but I gotta have the couches and everything. I'm really dedicated to that.
You heard it here first, folks. All right. So stay with us for a couple of years. You can see the Wo show.
Yeah.
I know I'll be watching.
Yeah.
But all right, let's hop into the topic for today, guys. Now, I know when I thought of this topic, you were the first two people that came to mind because I knew we'd have a great time with it.
Mm-hmm.
But culture's been changing a lot lately. The relationship world, intimacy with porn and the availability of online dating and all this fake stuff with social media going on.
Facts.
Hooking up and just getting someone you actually trust and care about has been harder than ever.
Yeah.
So let's just hop right into it today. The first episode of Surreal Steve, the dating episode. So let's get right into it with the first question. Okay, the culture of love, as I just said, something's been changing with it lately. Do you guys feel like the model of love or just the idea of what love is now has changed significantly over the past couple of years?
Yeah. Do you want to answer first?
Yeah, whoever wants to go first, you can hop right in.
Well, I do indeed think the culture of love has changed because it's just everyone's involved on social media as well. So there's people go to social media to see what a relationship should look like.
Right.
Actually, and that gets misconstrued most of the time, and it's just really whack.
It's that kind of fake,
you guys
are on the beach traveling the
world,
things must be perfect.
Hashtag goals,
yeah. Goals. So and just when you watch certain things, you're just I want a relationship like that. So you don't know what unconditional love is or how you can give unconditional love or receive it. So nowadays, it has definitely changed. Everyone's on their phones and everyone is connected through phones, making love through phones, So.
People are a little impatient with it now. They expect intimacy or things to come to them a little faster because society's kind of operating on that level of convenience, And love, real love, in my opinion, it's crafted, it's built. You can that first love bullshit. If you're when you first see someone, you fall in love. I do believe in that, cheesily enough, but at the same time, that's not to build an authentic, loving relationship in this age. I feel it's super difficult. Now, Chantel, what do you think about the culture
I definitely
of love?
agree with both of you guys. I think people definitely depend on social media.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel nobody ever let's go on a date, let's get to know each other,
Yep.
without the phones, without social media. And I feel people just expect for someone to if he doesn't post me, he doesn't love me. It's just depending on social media so much. I feel it's just changed. I remember when my parents told me how they met. They didn't even have no phones, no iPhones, and no Instagram. So I definitely feel it's also hard to find that kind of love that your parents had. I don't know. It's different.
Do you feel the phones or just technology in general is making it harder for people to have an authentic encounter and just kind of put aside all the technology, all the social media? Do you feel people are going to get too comfortable with just a swipe or just not being able to really be who you are and totally be in the moment with someone and try to fall in love with them? Do you feel especially people LA, the common theme is oh yeah, who's not talking to 6 people at the same time? It's I feel that's real. I feel there's just so many options and if someone isn't getting the amount of attention they want, it's like they're gonna move on to someone really quick.
Yeah.
So like this whole new, these Tinder and all these online dating apps have created like this new world where people are like less likely just to be real with someone and just to, like, I know in my personal experience, I was telling you earlier, like girls would just like dub me or like act interested and then out of nowhere just like ghost me, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And like they'll be with someone else in a week. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's going on with the world right now? This isn't how it's supposed to be.
I think it's definitely our generation too.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know, there's like no type of communication there. Like you said, like the girl, like, I don't know, a girl guy would never say like, oh, I don't know, they just switch up on you. They wake up with a different feeling every day.
Yeah, you don't know how.
That's
someone
annoying. No
genuinely
consistency.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
someone genuinely feels about you. That's just like, it's overwhelming too. Like, you know, because you just want to be with someone who has great vibes,
Right.
and good energy and unconditional love. Like
Unconditional.
I don't think many people know what unconditional means. You know what I'm saying?
Like ride or die. Like
Ride or
we're gonna
die,
work through
love
our
and all,
issues.
Like you're my best friend and like my lover at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like people are more likely to give up on stuff nowadays.
Yes.
Like people are
Oh
more
my God.
selfish, more like ego driven and stuff, which is like, I get it because like how culture is, but at the same time, like, you know, I was talking to my buddy the other day, or like in World War II, like we have like your grandparents would wait like 3 years to see their partner, and it'd be like, it sucked, but they'd do it, and when they come back, it's like nothing ever happened, you know. But now it's like someone's gone for a little bit, or like 2 months is a big deal, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like our ability to like be on our own has changed, and like I feel like we're always reaching out for more attention and like verification from people, which is like not good. And like, how do you guys think, like we were just talking about a little bit, but how do you think the dating world has been affected by Tinder and other dating services like Christian Mingle or Zeus? Like there's all these different apps that like,
What is it, like Bumble? I don't know.
Bumble, yeah, Bumble's one. Bumble sucks, okay? 'Cause Bumble, I've gotten great matches on Bumble, and the girl has to message you first on Bumble, and that kills me because like I've had like matches sitting in my box, and I'm like, oh, like great, I can't wait to talk to you.
Yeah.
I never get hit up. I never get hit up on Bumble, and then I'm just like left with a hole in my heart. Like it just sucks. But what's it like to be like a female on a dating app? Like how is that for you guys?
I mean, I definitely never have been on Tinder, Bumble, none of those dating apps. But like what I see is like, I don't know, I feel like girls just go there like, oh, I want a guy who's this and that. I feel like they just depend on that dating app to just find a guy instead of just like letting a guy come to them. I don't know, like that whole thing, I think that's corny. Like Tinder, all those dating apps. I'm like, why do you need a dating app to find your soulmate or the person, like a guy that you just want to kick it with?
It's so hard because like I relate to that, but at the same time it's like I meet people all the time and I meet girls all the time, but I feed into the culture. Like there's sometimes where I just want like a hookup or like, and I feed into it. Like it's my own fault. I critique it, but I'm feeding into it.
I didn't
sorry.
No, I didn't start Tinder until I got to LA, and I just did it because, you know, just to have a vibe. Like I wasn't really looking for nothing.
Or
serious.
meet people, whatever.
Yeah,
it's like
such a big city. It's so hard, and I don't drive, so it's just like, you know, what can I find out there? So I had to be specific in my bio about like no weirdos. I don't want none of that. Like I'm not trying to hook up.
No weirdos.
Like I really had to keep it 100. Like I'm like, yo, like don't swipe if you think I'm gonna like have sex with you, you know, because I'm just really not into that. Like I'm really into like the old fashioned dates, getting to know.
I get to know you.
Yeah, like
Before
whatever
we
happens, like
lay
going
down,
out.
yeah.
Isn't that
Getting to
a
know
crazy
someone.
idea?
But like a lot of people on these sites use it because they're not being true to themselves. Like they use it to like be fake. Like sometimes some of these people don't even look like how they look on their pictures.
I know, and I feel like what happens with me is like I'll go on like Tinder or Bumble, and I feel like if I don't have 15,000 Instagram followers, nothing's happening to me. Like, I'm not getting lucky anytime soon. Like most of these girls will be like, yeah, I don't usually check my Tinder, so follow me on Instagram and DM me there. And then like most of these girls are like, obviously they just want to follow, like they're just like searching for that. And then like they'll post some of the DMs they get. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, you're asking for this to come to your DM, and then you're gonna like shame these people because they think you're attractive. Like,
I think it's definitely different for guys on Tinder than it is with girls. I don't know why guys why do guys go on Tinder? Like, do they want to get like laid?
Do they just want to have sex?
Do they just want to get laid? I feel like girls go on it to find a guy. There may be some girls who are just trying to get laid or whatever. There's nothing completely wrong with that. You know, I feel like girls can do whatever they want with their sexuality, but I think with girls it's more like emotions and feelings with it. I feel like they do trying to find a guy. Guys,
You're right. All right, because most of my friends that I know that use Tinder will use it just to like get a hookup or like they're bored at night and like they're hoping they can get a match and like whatever, like get like a little temporary fling or something. Like I get that, and and from a whole, like a lot of people in our generation are using it, and I checked, I try to get some facts on this just to see like what kind of numbers we're looking at. And according to datingadvice.com, 49 million people, have tried online dating. Wow. So, and also the online dating industry's annual revenue is 1.8 billion. Now, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. And I know these apps, this is the most messed up part, is like Tinder Gold, Bumble Boost. It's like we're going out of our way when we know we're probably not going to get that attention to spend money on an online dating app so I don't actually interact with anybody. And I'm paying money so that they might send me one text message or I might get one digital match. Like, that's a good business model, but like at the same time, like it just kind of pisses me off. So
yeah. It's funny because I like New York City people, like our friends and like Bronx, Harlem. I've never heard my friends say that they have Tinder or use any of those apps. I come to LA and everybody's just like, I met this girl on Tinder and I'm supposed to hook up with her like today or tomorrow. Like I feel like
good for you.
Like that
doesn't work out for me.
Yeah, in the city we go meet up or like we mutual friends.
There's like events where you just meet people, you like dance, like. I don't know. I feel like that's like a real Bronx.
I'm more like hitting off the vibe. If I see you and I like you, I'm like, oh yeah.
If it works out, it works out.
Like, Tinder, I'm like hesitant. I'm like, oh, swipe right. I don't know if this dude's a creep. Like, you attractive, but are you a creep?
Do you think the part of the reason why you're a little hesitant on Tinder, or just like you have these feelings about Tinder, is because of like hookup culture?
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys think of hookup culture? Like, we're talking about Tinder, we're talking about these dating services, and most of the time that these services are used for hookups. Like, from a guy's perspective, I would gladly get a girlfriend on Tinder if I could. I just feel like one little bio and 5 pictures is, like, super hard to,
also, like why you're a girl and you're on there. Like, I feel like a guy is just hesitant to find, a girlfriend. She's on that dating app.
Yeah.
It's
true.
Yeah.
It's true. But what do you guys think about hookup culture? Like, you guys like it? You not like it? Like, I mean, we're 2021, so it's like,
necessarily, like, I don't really mind it. Like, people's gonna do what they want to do, Me personally, I'm just not like a hookup person because it's just like, I'm just into, like, I don't know, me, I just don't know. Like, unless I really, like, just need that bypass, I just don't really, like, hook up. Like, I don't know.
I feel you. Okay.
I don't know. I just really decide, like, me getting to know you, what type of person you are before. Because, I don't know, like, sex is sharing yourself with someone, sometimes.
People view that differently. Some people are like, I'm kind of willing to, like, connect with more people. I'm a little more whatever. Like, some people are a little bit like, I want to know you, trust you, love you, and respect you. And
not like all of that.
Not all that. Not that list.
Not like all that, because then you could get into a relationship for that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I don't know, because some people be having STDs. I'm just scared. Not to go there. I'm just like, no.
I feel that. I mean, that's a legitimate.
Some people are sneaky.
That's a legitimate. Going off to this, even though you're like the opposite of the stat, Dating Advice again says 33% of women have sex in the first online dating encounter. Oh. That's actually not too big of a percentage.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too.
If I felt cool with the person, I felt they were clean, like we were chilling, we bought like clean, very important. Then I would do it. Like, I mean, it's like if I have a great day with that person, or if we actually did a date, then I'd totally be down.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it has completely changed, like the hookups. Like I feel like when we were like 16, 17, I don't want to have sex on the first day. Yeah. Because I feel like it's just society portrays that like, if you have sex on a first date, you're considered a hoe, slut,
especially
whatever.
for females.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that.
And
I
feel like just girls just like, I don't want to have sex with this dude on the first day because that's what I feel like he's just gonna think I'm a hoe. I think it's just it has changed. Like we're like 2021. I feel like a lot of people just don't care. Like, if I'm like having a good time with you, great conversation, like we're like kicking it. It's like good vibes. I feel like if it happens, it happens. You might get a call back. You might not. Like I don't know. Yeah. And I think that guys think that women are like have these like feelings and emotions when it comes to sex, but a girl could do the same exact thing that a guy could do. I could just hook up with a guy and I care about,
Sometimes the girls
him the
want
next
to
day. Like we
just want to come, Just want to
You know what?
We're
We're gonna leaving on that point just for a second. We're gonna get into should we allow brothels or legalize prostitution next, but we're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, guys, for being here right now. And
thank you for having us.
Of course. I can't wait to finish this conversation. But thank you to the viewers who are tuning in right now. If you are, like all 20 of you. But I'm just kidding. But we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to the Surreal Steve podcast, first episode of dating. We left off, on the hookup culture and how people are kind of just in it for sex, and now Woe is saying how sometimes we just want to come.
No weirdos, no creeps. No weirdos, no creeps.
But let's go off of that because this is a serious thing that I feel on a spiritual level almost every day of my life. Like sometimes we just need to bust a nut or whatever. Just relax, We just need to relax and calm down because, especially out in LA, shit's stressful, man. So, I thought about this a lot throughout growing up. Do you guys think that, we should either legalize prostitution or allow brothels? Now, before we get into this, I knew that it was legalized in certain parts of the world, so I looked it up, and Germany has legalized prostitution, and it's taxed. So the state, they're making money off of it. Did you guys feel like we could implement this in the United States and it would be positive, or do you feel like all right, so you guys feel like legalizing prostitution would just not be ideal?
I mean, people still gonna do whatever they want, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's legal or not.
That's
really still on the idea of prostitution is just absurd. I'm damn, people really pay for sex?
Yeah,
I
definitely agree with that.
Sugar daddies.
It's crazy.
And there's some women who really want to sell their bodies, but it's just damn.
A lot of LA Instagram girls will do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I go on Instagram and see ass wedgie in the thong. I'm damn. You got 6 kids and you're on the ground with your ass.
Here's a funny story. So I have friends that are currently in the Dominican Republic, and they're from New York. So they pay these girls to have sex with them. It's 30 girls. It's yo, it's sad because I feel damn, women would just do anything. Women would just have sex for any kind of money. It's just that it looks bad on us, and I feel that's why men feel they have, I don't know, what's the word? They feel they can call us these words hoes, sluts, because I don't know, a woman
because there's too many girls feeding into that. You feel there's all these Instagram basic white girls. I'm not saying they're just white, but in my experience,
all girls.
Exactly.
Instagram models. I know what you mean.
But there's also women out there who really need the money. You know what I'm saying? Because
gotta hustle, gotta do what you gotta do,
and,
right?
A vagina is very powerful.
Hell yeah.
Men want to have sex, women want to have sex.
Yeah.
So it's and you could get a good net worth from having sex with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I still don't think it should be legalized, but you're right. We still have prostitutes in the U.S.
They gotta pay the bills, feed their
kids.
kids.
It's still gonna happen regardless. I just morally, it's not. I don't know. I just don't agree with it, and I feel us women, we should value ourselves more. And men,
but
there's girls out there that would easily just have sex without the money.
Yeah.
I feel I don't know, here's a couple bands, just suck my,
But I feel a woman feels really powerful when a man is giving them money, because there's songs out there where there's girls oh, I'm not fucking him unless he pop 10 bands. You know what I'm saying? So
that's hip hop culture, especially.
With having sex, it's the money and the wealth comes together. So and that might be the only thing they know how to do, pop it open. So.
Well, I have a split opinion on this because, I'm a guy, so maybe that's part of the reason why it's different.
It's also a lot with the double standard, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, listen, people are this shit happens all the time. This has been going on for a long time. We used to have brothels in, Greece and stuff that, decades, Jesus, Steve, history, centuries ago. But, I feel I think it would be okay. Now, I'm not saying, if I ever went for a political office that prostitution is legal. I'm not, I wouldn't do that. But, if someone proposed it, then I'd be willing to discuss a couple, business models or, what it would do to the country. Because, honestly, it's just, a brothel is, there's always so many, it would get rid of, that kind of, maybe the Tinder dating experience. I feel it would kind of change it in a better way. And like if someone wants to be a professional sex worker, it's like we already have so many people who do it like under the radar. It's like why not just like it's like anything. It's like heroin and stuff, or like it would be regulated like anything else. I know it's a weird example, but like I feel like it would be regulated if it was controlled by the right person, or like at least like the policies behind it were right. Like maybe you had to be screened, or like you had to go in for a weekly testing, whatever brothel you worked at, like an STD testing. Like there's things they could do to make it not as wild as it seems.
Yeah, you really went deep.
We talking about
You
the
really
purpose,
went
like
deep.
as a woman, you should not, like you should allow. I don't know. You shouldn't allow.
What if you
whatever
paid me?
want.
What if you paid? What if a girl paid me for sex? Like, is it different or is it the same? What like you don't? I know.
That's a great question.
I know girls would be interested in this. Like not with me, because I suck, but like.
I think
I feel like it'll be.
nah, because then that would be going against what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
I don't for both part. I just think I don't know. A lot will come out of it if it was legal. Like more women would be like abused. Like I don't know. It's just.
And some women get actually forced into prostitution.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
Like,
in these third world countries, they're like, you gotta have sex.
and like
to
they
get
got
money.
like children, like young girls at a young age, like doing these kind of stuff. I don't. That it sucks.
It's the
There's a
only-
lot that comes
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
the only thing they know how to do. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, that I understand. If we're raising like a culture, like our youth to think like it's okay just to like to not want to learn any skills and just open your legs or like use your dick and like have sex with a girl. Wow, buddy, great. Here's $500. Like we don't want to teach people. I agree. Like we shouldn't like have a culture that like encourages people to like. That's a career path.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take away from like porn stars and people because like listen, I think about porn.
Props to y'all.
Yeah, I think about it. Like, if I'm broke sometime, or if I really need to make money, like who's
I see this.
my grandparents aren't gonna see that shit.
I seen this thing on Snapchat. It was this 16-year-old virgin who was selling her virginity for $1 million. She was like, "Oh, if you want to have sex with me and take my virginity." And
I saw. Was that on Touchpoint now? I don't know, but I did see that.
She's 16, 17. She was like, "Oh, my virginity for sale, $1 million."
That is wild.
I know.
Let's not do that. That's weird. But yeah, I mean, I think prostitution could be viable, but I definitely agree with you guys that we don't want people growing up thinking that sex, like it is a skill. I mean, in my opinion, sex is a skill. Wink, wink. But like at the same time, it's like, yeah, you want to grow up learning real skills and not like you spin the wheel like the job at the job fair. It's like there's a prostitution like booth. Like we don't. I don't think that's
There's
the
definitely
image.
different opinions on
Yeah,
this. Like,
yeah.
All right, so let's change gears a little bit because I think we're both a little mixed on that. So porn, kind of related, kind of not with the whole like this out front intimacy, just being able to see explicit content like that. Now I watched porn when I was young, I was in second grade and I watched porn. No, I'm kidding. I was like the first time I saw it, I was like, whoa. I was like the first time like doing all that was just like crazy, and like I think it creates this. It feeds into that dating service thing where it's like a convenience thing where like you can see like the kind of content you want. Yeah, it is a business.
Mm-hmm.
And according to enough.org, more than 4 out of 10 Americans say porn is morally acceptable. Now I think porn's fine.
Yeah.
Now we're like I know like the brothel thing might be a little too far, but if someone wants to be a paid porn star, like you're putting yourself out there and you're being really intimate on camera, like I don't know. Do you guys think it causes problems though?
What do you mean? Like,
Do you think, okay, for example, do you think that someone who spends too much time on porn is going to have unrealistic expectations in a relationship, or they're not going to know how to handle it? They're going to maybe be a little bit too ego-driven, or think that it's more about the physical connection than the spiritual connection? Like, do you think it has like harmful attributes that come with it?
Me necessarily, I don't think so. Because when I was younger, like it used to be like I would say it was like a fun thing. Like sometimes
What's going on?
My friends and I would be like, yo, like how like people have sex, and we would just go like explore like.
It's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience, and you learn
It
how to
helped
like
me.
have sex, and you learn tricks, especially for women. Not saying
Tricks, but for real, like you're not in health class and they're like, oh yeah, here's how you have sex.
It's
like
I didn't grow up
here's
like
missionary.
I wasn't comfortable speaking to my parents about it, like how to have sex, so I just like.
Yeah.
Which I think that for parents, they should definitely have a conversation with their kids about sex. I don't know. I feel like more kids would be comfortable.
On a serious note, parents talk to your kids.
Yeah, but like you.
I mean, don't.
Well, with porn, you like explore and you see different things. They have different categories. Like I said, it's a business. It generates income. So like.
But do you feel like it's gonna go too far? Like, do you feel like you really don't think it causes any harm to intimacy or like expectations at all?
Some people, there's there's people out there who expect like their significant others to be porn stars. Like split on the.
Okay,
You know
different question. Would you be in a relationship with someone who's a porn star? Me? Hell no. No one touches my significant other.
Yeah, no,
I don't care if
can't.
it's their work. No.
That's like, that's a good question. Because I would feel like that's cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. They'd be like, it's my job. You'd be like,
no,
yeah,
that's
but
cheating.
your job is having sex with other people.
Exactly.
Like, they don't use protection because, like,
it's definitely cheating.
He's just a colleague.
I don't think that it would affect someone's relationship. I guess because, I mean, if you haven't watched porn, I don't know, you must be like an unknown pastor. But
yeah, exactly. Who hasn't watched porn? Like, for real.
Exactly. I don't think, like, unless, like, you're, like, a sex addict or, like, something, then, yeah, maybe it would be a conflict. But I definitely don't think, like, porn is that big of a deal. Like, people just watch it for, like, a satisfaction for, like, 15 minutes? And then, I don't know, to learn something new, and then that's it. Like, unless, like, you're one of those, it's just, like, I have to watch porn.
Or they use it to, like, learn from it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's some people, because I definitely have met people who out there.
And
like,
I
learned this from
nowadays,
porn. Like,
people
porn
don't even get that the
Yeah.
same satisfaction as they used to when they were like younger.
Yeah.
I feel that because when I'm not gonna get too detailed here, but I was first in the game. You know, like when I first started. You're 15, 16, you know, like that stuff comes. But like for some people, but I don't know. Like I didn't, you know, you don't know what you're doing. Like I was saying before, like you're not in health class. Like here's missionary, here's doggy, here's 69.
Yeah.
Like, and here's how you eat a girl out. Like they're not like they don't tell you anything, and like it's good. Like yeah, you can experiment on your own and like fly blind on your first encounter. But like I feel like it's better to kind of know the right kind of procedures or the right ways to do something. And I feel like porn. I'm not saying it's like educational, but like you're curious, especially when you're younger. Like porn's like I think it's a database for you to like kind of.
You want to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. I definitely think it proves to be a little bit more beneficial to people who are younger. If you're older, I think that the reason I was saying it could be negative would be like if you're an introvert or something and you don't really talk to people already and you're using porn because one, you're not good at talking to people, and two, you're like binge watching it or like you masturbate all the time because you're just not good with people. That's my worry with it, is I feel like it's too anti-personal and like you're masturbating to someone online instead of trying to form a legitimate connection. And I feel like with all these trends we have going on with like Tinder, online dating, and everything's already so online, so like your digital identity is so big, like that's what I'm worried about. Is I'm worried, I mean, porn's only gonna improve, I don't even know what I'm saying. It's gonna be easier to watch porn. We got like 5G internet coming out, like as like the tech infrastructure.
Access, they have free sites too, so.
There's another stat online. It was like people use public Wi-Fi to watch porn when they're like out places. I was like,
I also think for our generation it's like dying out.
Yeah.
Porn?
Yeah.
I haven't watched porn in a while.
It's not that big as it used to be when we were like teenagers. Like I feel like I don't know, us it's just like
porn. I feel like it's a stepping stone before you have sex. You know?
Yeah,
you're like,
right, exactly.
Like, let me see how to do this. Let me see how to do this position. You know, so I think that's. I don't know.
I definitely agree. All right, let's just like sum up briefly, or not briefly. We can talk about it a little bit. So we've talked about all these trends. What do you guys think the future is going to be for relationships and intimacy, dating? Like what do you guys think the model is going to be? How culture is going to be impacted by it? Like let's just say like a decade or something. We got a lot of big tech changes coming, you know, like I don't know, there's a lot of big things coming soon. So like what do you guys think? It's tough to say. It's not an easy question.
Me personally, I'm kind of scared of like what the future holds because I'm like I do want to get married, like I do want to be a wife and have a family. So it's just like what's being portrayed now would later affect my future. So I'm just I don't know what the
we're in our 20s, so that's why it's like, so oh shit, like what's gonna happen?
Like I be thinking about it. I'm like, damn, can I find a wholesome man through these dating sites? Will I be able to find someone that I can make a husband because of what we endure during this time of culture of love and just how it changed and everything.
Right.
So it's definitely like a lot of pressure too on like our generation because we, you know, our parents, they grew up different. Right. They had different like lifestyles and stuff like that. So it's just like.
But they made it work, you know, and they connected.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know, like.
I think it's definitely gonna change. Obviously, because when my parents they already met at this age. I still haven't found a guy that I would like potentially say that he'll be my husband.
Yeah.
But
which is not crazy at this age,
Which is not.
I don't know, but
I know
you know,
what
you can never tell. Like things are definitely gonna change. I don't know if it's gonna be like for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just all depends on like the people and how they communicate with each other, like the self respect, the double standards. Also with like I don't know, I feel like men and women definitely have their different opinions. It could be like I don't know, a good thing or bad thing sometimes. So I don't. It just depends on who you're going for and what you're going for. Yeah.
I would agree with that because I think the reason why this topic was so strong in my head out is because I'm out in Los Angeles. You know, it's a very ego-driven industry. I respect LA. Now this is a different tangent, but like LA, to me, I've only been here for like 2 months, but to me, it's like you hustle. You want to be your best. You want to look your best. You want to flex on people, not necessarily to like be like I'm better than you, but like look how hard I work to get to where I am. Like there's so many BMWs, Teslas, Mercedes, like. People like the quality of living out here. Like I feel like if you make it out here, you can make it anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
And like girls, when I'm on these Tinder apps, when I'm on like all these online dating apps, I have to keep in mind that there's all these guys that are like better than me, who look better than me, who have cars, like have a car, like have their own place. I don't have 3 roommates. Like I feel like this like the culture of love is becoming like a competition of like
what you have.
Yeah, it's like, who are you? It's like, why should I be interested in you? And that, it used to be like, oh, you're cute and you tell a couple of good jokes, you're a little quirky, we make it work, we talk, we have memories together and it works out. But like now, you can see whoever you want, like anytime you want. You can basically do whatever you want. You have access to any kind of information you want on the person. If you want to talk to them, it's super easy. Like, just this whole convenience and the speed of society, I think is just like ruining how authentic relationship building used to be. And like, you know, we were talking about this in the car and I want to bring it up again. Like getting out of relationships or getting into them, like it's not easy because society moves fast. We have so much stress to deal with when it comes to social media and stuff. But like time now more than ever, I feel like is so valuable in 2018. Like we're college kids too, and we always feel like if you're not productive, like you feel like you have to be doing something, or like if you have one day off, the next day you're like, oh shit, maybe I better do something today. Like I just feel like it's just so willing to invest our time into something is so difficult. And like, what do you guys feel like when you lose a relationship, or like say you've built something up, or you know, like love is very. I know it's a tough subject, but we're not going to touch too much on it. But for me, it's like, you know, you build something up and it's such a stressful environment, and this day and age, it's so hard to. It's like mixed feelings. It's like, well, you know, there's plenty of other people out there for you, but at the same time, it's like you're so stressed in this day and age, and like building up the relationship, especially finding someone you can do that with in this Tinder age and everything is super hard. So how do you guys handle, like, if you know, like either hookups, relationships, or just like people in your past that you kind of just have to like let go, or?
Well, me personally, I've only been in 2 serious, real relationships. So my first relationship, I dated someone for 2 years. That was one of my longest relationships. And this past year, I dated someone for a year.
Yeah.
So like just
long ass time.
Yeah, and people are like, some people were in like 5-year relationships, but like, oh, that's not long. Listen, a year, like a couple of months is a long time.
So,
a year is a long time.
but like, you know, during the relationship, you definitely learn about yourself, and you definitely learn what you want moving forward. And if that person is like right for you or not, you have to move on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about you. Even if you're in a relationship, it's still about you. You still have to give yourself the same love and respect that you deserve. So I understand like what you're saying, but it is hard to move on, and it is, especially when you're dating someone for a long time. But you still have room to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have to grow. You still have to figure out what you really like. Because 20 is young.
20 is young, absolutely.
20 is young, and then people want you to be so dedicated and committed to like what they stand for. Is like, oh, fuck your values. It's about what I want. So that's what I'm just like, yeah, that's what I'm like, oh, this 1 year relationship, I'm moving because it's like, I'm in LA, I'm in a different space, I'm doing
plenty of time to find someone else.
It's about me, like I was born myself, like I wasn't born attached to you, you know what I'm saying? But I do respect you and love you, where we have our great memories, but now it's time for me to move on, like, you know?
I feel that. I'm just like, I think it's just like the idea of the relationship is going to be a more sacred / more special thing as we grow older, because I know like married, like kid, you know, what's that called when like we're not having as many kids and everything, like marriage, we have like a terrible divorce rate in the United States and everything, and I feel like with Tinder and just all these issues, like maybe prostitution can be legalized and like just social media and stuff. I'm just curious how that kind of stuff is going to play out over the next couple of years.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, it's not an easy thing to predict, and like, we're not sociology majors, you know. Like we can't speak too much on that. But guys, I think that's all that I have for today. I'm super happy that you guys came out today to be on the show. You guys have a good time?
Yeah, it's super fun, super dope.
Super dope, with great topic.
Well, hopefully we can get you guys on here again for another topic. And as always, just kidding, it's the first episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening. If you're doing both, thank you so much. It was so much fun doing this dating podcast today. Tune in next week. I'm sure we'll have some more topics lined up for you. Going to be doing this pretty consistently over the next couple of months. And I had a great time doing it, and so just stay tuned to Surreal Steve. Check out the Facebook channel, Instagram, Twitter, and all that jazz, and we'll have more content coming out shortly. All right, thanks again, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to the first episode of the Surreal Steve podcast. Big shout out again to Chantel and Will for coming on the show today. Had a great time. Also, another big shout out to the man who makes it happen, Eli Goldman at the Golden Standard Post. Wouldn't be able to do any of this without him, so big shout out to you, bro. And this week's sponsor / promotion is my buddy Tim Osbud. He's been killing it lately in the music industry. Great guy, is a great mixer, producer, vocalist. He's just been killing it. So check out Rennie on Spotify, Apple Music, whenever you get a chance. The guy makes killer music. Here's his latest song. Check it out.
Back and forth until we fall down. My back is up against the wall now, baby. Hold me back or else I'm on her. It's 2 a.m., I'll probably call her, baby. I was looking for something different. Without you, I think I float away. I was looking for something different. And now with you, I think I wanna say there's a complicated reason I don't wanna wait. Used to think that we were better in the pouring rain. And I've been thinking I don't want you, yeah, I need you, babe. Need to pull me out, I'm drowning in the pouring rain. Pouring rain. Used to think that we were better in the pouring rain. Said pouring rain. Need to pull me out, I'm drowning in the pouring rain. Only call me when it's midnight. You're quick to go and catch the next flight, baby. Follow me, you know it's alright. We're staring out into the skyline, baby. I was looking for